players that they have at their rankings, man. Now, don't worry. I know some of you guys are already pissed off at looking at this visual. I know. And I'm going to try and contain myself so that the relaxation isn't interrupted by screaming and yelling, because I'm passionate about basketball, you feel me? So I'm going to try to remain calm for the sake of content. Alright, so let's dive right into the top 50. Let's start with the first row. Alright, so Devin Booker at 11. I agree with that. I actually had Devin Booker at 11 on my list as well. I'll put my top 10 and top 20 and 30 players ranking video in the description. But yeah, I agree with that. This is where I feel like this is so out of pocket. How the hell is Jimmy Butler not in the top 10? But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is in the top 8. Now, I'm not going to say too much about Shai because he's in the top 10 on their ranking. We'll get to that later. But Jimmy Butler has taken two teams that don't even deserve to be near the finals based on how the roster looks on paper to the NBA finals and actually made it a competitive finals, at least against the Lakers. Now, he did get his ass kicked against the Nuggets, but that team was outmatched and he didn't have Tyler Hero. Jimmy Butler is definitely a top 10 player. I'd had him at number 6 on mine. That's just crazy how he's not in the top 10. Anthony Edwards, you guys know I'm one of the biggest Anthony Edwards fans. But yeah, I think it is premature to say he's better than Damian Lillard or Jamal Murray. Donovan Mitchell, some people are 50-50 about that. I actually think Anthony Edwards is just a bigger version of Donovan Mitchell with better defense. So I see why some people may disagree why Anthony Edwards is ahead of him, but I think Anthony Edwards is just a better version of Donovan who's bigger. But I do realize that Donovan Mitchell has accomplished more than in the postseason. So I get if some people don't feel like Anthony Edwards deserves to be ahead of Donovan Mitchell. But yeah, I have Anthony Edwards at 15 on my list. Damian Lillard was 11 on mine. I just think that's ludicrous to not have Damian Lillard towards the top 10. Alright, so now let's go to the second row. We got Paul George, Jaylen Brown, Karl Anthony Towns at 20, Tyrese Halliburton at 21, Sabonis at 22, and then Fox at 23 and Kawhi at 24. Alright, so I'm not going to spend too much on Kawhi. I'm assuming they're putting him at 24 just because of his recent injury history. So I'm not going to make too big of a deal about that, even though I had him at number 10, because I feel like he's going to be fully healthy this season. Alright, so the biggest thing that stands out to me is that how the hell is Trae Young not in the top 20, but you have Karl Anthony Towns at 20? That makes no sense. Like, if Karl Anthony Towns is a top 20 player and Anthony Edwards is a 13th best player, how come they haven't gotten out of the first round yet? That literally doesn't make sense. So I would have Trae Young way higher than that. That's so disrespectful. Alright, so now let's just expand it a little bit. Let's talk about 25 to 50. Alright, so Pascal Siakam, alright, 25. I forgot who I had at 25. I think I had Julius Randle. I know I had Brandon Ingram in my top 30, so I'm fine with him being 27. Drew Holiday, I do value Drew Holiday a little more than others, but I still don't think he's a top 25. A top 26 player. I would have him at maybe 35 or something like that. I would switch Ja Morant and Drew Holiday. Well, actually, I would have Ja Morant towards the top 15, top 10 actually. But I'm just saying, for the sake of this, I would switch Drew Holiday and Ja Morant. Alright, now putting Paolo Banchero over Jalen Brunson is disrespectful. Paolo Banchero hasn't even led a team to the playoffs, and Jalen Brunson's skill set is just so much more mature and developed. That's very disrespectful to Jalen Brunson to have Paolo over him when Paolo has never accomplished anything compared to Jalen. Jalen's playoff success really overshadows Paolo. Now, obviously, Paolo has more potential, but I'm not going based off that. I'm going on based off what you've done. Kyrie at 34 is ludicrous. Like, how the hell is Lauri Markkanen better than Kyrie? Drew Holiday is even better than Kyrie. I wouldn't even take Pascal Siakam over Kyrie. I guess Pascal Siakam is more well-rounded, but that doesn't mean you're necessarily a better player. If you have one person to lead your team in the postseason, I'm not 100% taking Kyrie over Pascal Siakam. That's just facts. Darius Garland at 36. Is Darius Garland that much better than Bradley Beal? Oh, man. That's so subjective. I guess it depends on how much you value playmaking. I guess at this point in time, Darius Garland could be a little bit better. That's not a big deal to me. DeMar DeRozan at 39 is kind of disrespectful. I would switch DeMar DeRozan and Lauri Markkanen probably Jimmy Butler at 6'7", Tatum, KD 8. Number 9 I had Joel Embiid, and then 10 I had Kawhi, Leonard. Alright, so let's get Shea the hell out of the top 10 immediately. Like I said, some NBA fans overvalue the regular season. If you look at the regular season, Jaylen Brown is the second best shooting guard in the NBA. He averaged almost 28 as the second option. But then the playoffs came around, and just like how he does every playoffs, his numbers go back down, bro. So I feel like too many NBA fans will overvalue the regular season. He hasn't even accomplished more in the playoffs than Anthony Edwards, and Anthony Edwards is 3.5 years younger. That's why I had Anthony Edwards at 15 and Shea at 16. I do have LeBron in the top 5. I had him at 5. I think they're undervaluing his value because I just take his knowledge and experience and IQ over Tatum. I still trust LeBron in the postseason more than Jason Tatum. And that's coming from a Celtics fan, man. Y'all know I'm a team Boston over here. We're Celtics Nation over here. Anthony Davis, I don't mind that because I had him at 12 on my list, or tied for 12 because I had to squeeze him in when I forgot to put him on my list the first time. But yeah, so I don't really have a problem with that. That's subjective. I just would take Devin Booker over Anthony Davis because I feel like he has more of a responsibility of carrying a team, even though he's playing with a super team now. But for like the last couple years, Devin Booker has been more dependable and healthier than Anthony Davis. There's no way in hell Joel Embiid is better than Steph, Luka, or Jason Tatum, or KD. I would not choose Joel Embiid over KD. If you choose Joel Embiid over Stephen Curry or Luka, you're foolish. I'm sorry to be rude or disrespectful, but that's foolishness, man. But yeah, I just have to get Joel Embiid. I'll probably put Joel Embiid like at 9 or 10. I know he won MVP and he had a very dominant showcase during the regular season, but he loses to all the best players, the elite players in his conference. Now between Jokic and Giannis, I'm gonna have to select either Jokic for the best player in the league. And what it really comes down to is Jokic is just more unstoppable, more unguardable, and in the playoffs, he doesn't have any weaknesses to exploit. The Miami Heat knew that Giannis couldn't shoot. They built a wall. There's certain things that you could do to Giannis in the postseason that you can't do to Jokic to gain an advantage. So I just feel like Nikola Jokic is a better playmaker, more efficient, better shot creator, better post player. He's just over his offense is just so much better. Now I know Giannis is a better two-way, but just because you're a two-way player doesn't mean you're better than someone who's not a two-way. Because if that was the case, like I said in my top 10 video, Jason Tatum would be better than Luka. You know what I'm saying? So just because you play defense more than other people in this era of basketball,